want to love you. You need some loving, and I'll take it there. The young thing, and now.
Hey, y'all, and thank you so much for tuning in to Respectfully with Miss Pretty Young Thing. I'm your girl, PYT, and let's get into it. Y'all, of course, right now, we got to take the time to talk about Baddies Africa episode 2, okay? Episode 3 just came out this past weekend. I want to quickly go over episode 2 so that we can dissect into episode 3. And of course, we got to talk about Baddies Gone Wild. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to beat my face really quick, do my hair, and do the dang thing, okay? Before we get ahead and get started, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn those post notifications on, and tell a friend to tell a friend that PYT is here, okay? So the name of the episode was Battle of the Baddies, meaning welcome to Baddies, everybody whooping everybody, all right? So the episode kicks off from the very beginning, which is the battle between Ahna Mac as well as Natalie, which is where we had left off. In my opinion, Ahna, I am proud of you. You tore. Itty bitty committee takes a point on the scoreboard, okay? We know Natalie cannot fight. We know this. But it doesn't change the fact that Natalie be popping big-ish. It doesn't change the fact that Natalie, Ahna Mac was basically standing up for everybody altogether that Natalie has ever bullied. And that Natalie has ever, if you've become a victim of Natalie playing both sides, Ahna Mac was fighting for you, okay? And it's one of those things where Ahna is tired of seeing her, play both sides as far as the role of CEO, but then also play the role of supervillain on her own show, or whatever the case may be. So it's one of those things where I understand where Ahna Mac is coming from wholeheartedly. I 100% do. And then the amount of trash that Ahna Mac was talking about leading up to this episode, child, we already knew that this was going to happen. One thing I definitely can say is shout out to Ahna Mac for standing up to the plate, but I don't know how this is going to end for her. Like, is this the only episode that we're going to see her on? Did she ever fly to Africa? Is she going to end up coming back? Because the way Natalie was talking after they fought was as if Ahna Mac does not come back for Africa at all. Like, did she ever end up on any episodes after this? We're going to have to wait and see. We really are going to have to wait and see. But her and Natalie go for a couple rounds. Child. They go for a couple rounds. And after that, she ends up going straight for Stunna Girl. Okay, so we've been waiting for this fight for such a long time. They both have been talking so much crap on both sides. And honestly, it was the most disappointing thing that I have ever seen in the entirety of my life. I have never seen such an overhyped situation on both sides of the people who were trying to basically do verbal tell-alls on live about this scuffle. It was boring. It was unnecessary. It was a snooze fest. Like, it was just ghetto, to be honest. Like, the way Stunna Girl and Ahna Mac were hyping that fight up as if they both had did something. Now, it's one thing about it. Ahna Mac, anytime she fights, she hypes herself up. She says that she won, or whatever the case may be. But in this case, Stunna Girl does the same thing. She hypes herself up. She says that she won. So it's one of those things where it's just like, what are we about to get? Who is going to become victorious out of this circumstance? And in my perspective, nobody won. Nobody won. If we want to count who got the most licks in, it has to be Ahna Mac. If we count, who ended up, holding the other person down, we got to say Stunna Girl. But Stunna Girl was pulling hair the whole time. Stunna Girl was pulling hair whole time. But it was one of those things where, like, security was more so on Ahna Mac's side, on the side of the current season baddie, or whatever the case may be. So Stunna couldn't get a good hand into it the same way Ahna Mac kept trying to throw punches and wasn't as successful in landing them as much as she wanted to. Now, one thing about it and two things for certain. Stunna is lying about one thing, and it is the extent of her injuries. Stunna on one end was telling Ahna Mac, because Ahna Mac was just like, I got you leaking, because she was bleeding from the forehead apparently. And Stunna kept emphasizing, I just got in a fight the other day. I ain't bleeding because of you. But you lied and said that Ivory did not have you leaking during the jumping situation. So which one is it? Does Ahna Mac have you bleeding, or does Ivory have you bleeding from a whole different fight on a whole different day? Let's really talk about it. But either or, Ahna was talking straight-ish the entire time, talking about how Tasiki had taught her how to duck and dodge and do her thing, and she had been, making sure that she was taking lessons from her, keep her head up, keep going backwards so that they don't get no hits in, and charging, with the straight punches, with the punches. And respectfully, I respect it because, she wanted to make sure that she came up on top for the fight. So she went to her big sis them to make sure that she got the best advice that she possibly could to make sure that she ended up as victorious as she possibly could. And I'm here for it. Ahna Mac definitely put on a show for the folk, okay? But you already know Natalie. Natalie is, first of all, Stunna Girl is a liar too, talking about some, she made that basically acting like Natalie won. I don't know what fight y'all looking at. I do not know what fight y'all are looking at, because the fight that I was looking at, Ahna Mac was not winning. Ahna Mac was not winning. It was giving, not Ahna Mac was not giving. Stunna Girl was not winning, and neither was Natalie. So both of them to be hyping each other up in the Lululand, aka that bathroom where they seemed like they was regrouping. Stunna Girl was trying to take off her mic. She's saying that she's done. You and Ahna Mac going for, I think it was 4 rounds of nothingness. Just for you to just be like, giving up on the situation. It was all childish. It was all dumb. It was a big waste of time, because it was just like, I ain't gonna hold you. Ahna Mac versus Natalie wasn't a waste of time. It was quite comical. Okay? It was quite comical because Natalie had it coming regardless. And Ahna Mac, between Ahna Mac and DTV alone, and Scotty, there were so many people that already had issues with Natalie to a point in time where she was going to get her hands laid on. I didn't think that it was going to be Ahna Mac to go first. But at the end of the day, one thing about Ahna Mac, she do not duck no fade. She would take it as it will, or whatever the case may be. Ahna Mac, it was kind of funny when she was asking what the hell is a marquieta, because apparently Stunna Girl was calling her that, or whatever the case may be. Child. I guess that's a phrase that only a Now That's TV watcher would understand. And that's just what it is. Okay? That's just what it is. But it was comical nonetheless. And Ahna Mac, honestly, child, did she win? Did she really win? Let me know in the comments if you feel like we can count that as a victory for Miss Mary Mac. I was about to add a couple lashes, but I think I'm good. All right. So then from there, Stunna Girl ends up leaving, and we trade scenes. And that is the end of Ahna Mac for now, I guess. I don't know. So we end up getting to Cape Town. We are now in Africa. I thought we were going to get to see the girls fly out and some situations like that. A little more details into everything that's going on. Who's riding with who. Remember, Stunna Girl ended up catching a flight with Natalie. I thought we were going to at least get to see a little bit of Stunna Girl or whatever the case may be, but I guess not, or whatever. But it is what it is. The girls end up getting to Africa. The first people that we get to see on our screens are Natalie and Rolly, okay? So Rolly is happy to be in Africa, or whatever the case may be. Let's talk about confessional looks, because Rolly, I like the purple dress. I like the hair. I even like the eye makeup. The blush is way too much. Okay? I don't know who did her makeup. It was giving beady beady bum bum. It was very dramatic. It was giving a stage play. It was giving... No, don't do that anymore. But basically, her and Natalie are having a conversation about how Natalie is fed up and she's not putting up with these girls anymore. She's putting her foot down, and she is brand new this season. And that she's having a hard time with Ahna. She's having a hard time with Diamond. She's tired of the clout chasing, and she's done with the clout chasing antics that's happening. She doesn't respect it, or whatever the case may be. And of course, Rolly is sitting there, agreeing with her, or whatever the case may be, even though she was singing another tune on Instagram Live lately. But we're not gonna get into that right now, because we are now in Cape Town, okay? So now we get into the trifecta of Dolly, Summer, and featuring Big Lex, as well as some of the newbies. So they are in the motherland. They're leaving the hotel, heading to the new house or whatever. So new season, new summer, new trio, whatever the case may be. So they end up riding the bus with some of the new girls, okay? Some of those new girls that they end up riding with include Fauna. I like Fauna. Okay. And we are also introduced to, hold on, let me get their names correctly. We're introduced to Fauna, K. Rican, and Cole Killer. I want to say it was just them three that were on the bus. Now, Fauna is very, very pretty. She's the one that you see with Scotty now. So we know that she's going to get close to her. Cole Killer is the one that looked like, what you call it? Cole Killer is the one that had the pink bob. And K. Rican is Nunu Jr. So if you hear me say Nunu Jr., I'm talking about K. Rican. Fauna is the pretty one that be with Scotty. And Cole Killer is the one that had the pink bob. So if I say pink bob, I'm talking about Cole Killer, because I'm still trying to memorize their names or whatever. So they're all in the sprinter together. Rookie 3 versus sophomore 3, okay? So it's giving the energy that's happening at this point in time is oh wait, she didn't have the pink bob at that time, did she? Oh no, she had a platinum blonde hair at that time. I think she had the pink hair in the confessionals. Either or, they were kind of sort of bumping, like asking about who they liked or whatever the case may be, because at this point in time, Bad Dolly makes it known that she likes Cole Killer's music. She done went to jail off that edge, and it's one of those things where she's like hype about her being a part of the season or whatever the case may be. But you could tell instantly that Summer don't give a dang about whatever type of girly, fangirl thing that Bad Dolly got going on, or what it is that they talking about, because I don't know. Either or. She's talking about how Cole Killer is talking about how she got a problem with Tinka, but since Tinka's not a part of the solution, she's gonna have to bump heads with DTB, because apparently she has some music that went viral. I don't know if it was the Baddies Slide song. No. It was whatever that song is that she had featured with DTB. DTB was on the remix, but it's the original song that was taken from Cole Killer, whatever the case may be. And basically she feel like, she needs credit where credit is due, or whatever the case may be. She said that even on the music video that they made of it, that they had the same color wigs or whatever the case may be. Apparently, if you go on YouTube and look up that song, they have a good several million of viewers. So it may be one of those situations where whoever produced the song and, had maybe made a collab with whoever made the music video, and they kind of put their heads together with their powers combined, they took the thing. But I feel like it's one of those things where I don't understand how music artists always blame other music artists when the creatives in the background that are helping the artists are usually the ones that go ahead and do the stealing or whatever the case may be. You get what I'm saying? Like beat takers, for example. It's not the artist that make the beat, it's the producer that put the, thing down. It's the engineer that puts it all together. You can't really always blame the artist for circumstances like that. So I can't necessarily blame Tinkerbella. And for her to put all of Tinkerbella's team's actions on DTB is very unfair to DTB, because, child, all she did was hop on a remix. You want to fight the girl because she hopped on a remix? That's a little bit ghetto. I I've never seen that before in my entire life. But nonetheless, she expresses that she's don't have a problem with DTB, but she got to fight DTB. So now the bad Dolly over here saying that she beat Ivory ass and beat DTB ass. Child. For the fact that she could fix her lips and lie the way that she did is bananas. Okay, girl. Dolly. I gave you credit against Tasiki, but we're not gonna sit here and lie about what happened on the last episode. Okay, we're not. So either or, I guess basically what's happening here is the trio is kind of filling the girls out, asking if they like them, what they thought. I guess their opinions on the previous season based on what they saw now that they're face to face and about to be a part of the same, situation or whatever the case may be. And the Fauna and them basically said that they felt how they felt based upon, what they were seeing, and that she kind of they felt like, I think it was Fauna that said that she felt like Summer just be talking and her actions don't be matching what she's saying or whatever the case may be. Something like that. And now they're talking about how they're the original trio, whatever. Y'all trying to be a trio, whatever the case may be. I don't know why the trio thing was such a pressing situation when it came to, Dolly. But it was weird, like the energy she was giving after that. Because I feel like it was one of those things where Dolly was actually genuinely trying to get to know the girls and vibing with the girls and actually knew of Killa prior to Summer joining the situation. And as soon as Summer opened her mouth to speak on the situation, all of a sudden, Bad Dolly doesn't have an opinion on her own anymore. You get what I'm saying? So at first, Dolly was trying to calm them down or whatever the case may be. And I guess Summer got Fauna's name wrong or whatever. And she tried to correct her. And then from there, she was just like, F your name. I'm going to call you what the F I want to call you. And it's one of those things where it's just like, Summer, you can't be this disrespectful where you can sit here and look at a girl in her name, in her face, and say that you not going to call her by her government name because you're going to call her what you want to call her. Child. So they originally start scrapping. All right. In true Baddies notion, Summer's pink wig ends up elsewhere. Child. And then basically it's Fauna versus Summer. K-Rican ends up coming in the situation because it's one of those things where you're not going to disrespect this girl over her name. All right. And it's crazy because by this point in time, Dolly was kind of trying to break up the situation. But, when Summer is escalated, it's not going to be de-escalated. So she keeps saying F her name, F her name, F her name. So at this point in time, they're both trying to hit Summer. So then by this point in time, Dolly wants to jump in. And at this point in time, child, all three of the girls are jumping down their throat. Now, at this point in time, Big Lex isn't necessarily trying to hit back or whatever. She's more so trying to de-escalate and trying to make sure that the two out of the trio kind of gets themselves together. Now, basically, Summer is trying to issue her confessional saying that her name is difficult. Everyone is going to get it wrong. And that it's lights, camera, action for the rest of the season or whatever. Anytime they see each other, they gonna fight. Blase. Y'all know how that goes. So then from there, they end up getting off the sprinter. The trio ends up getting off the sprinter, telling them to not get comfortable in the house because they're gonna get them every time the chance that they get. Both of them are going back and forth. Okay? Listen, Lil Nunu, a.k.a. K-Rican, was just like, basically saying, who are you talking to? We're not even caring about no trio or whatever. But if y'all so pressed about a trio, I guess we a trio now. Because one thing about it, two things for certain. Dolly kept screaming, y'all is not a trio. We the real trio, whatever the case may be. And it's like, child, we the trio now. Now what? So then they immediately start fighting again. Now, what I will say is this. It's hard to really tell from the sprinter fights who was really winning, in my opinion, because there was no space. The camera angles were terrible in true Zeus fashion. Y'all know how that be. But let me know in the comments who you feel like won during the bus scuffles. So the trio ends up getting off the bus. Okay? It was 3-on-3. It was some evenly matched opponents, in my opinion. Newbies 2.0 versus newbies of last season. Child, it was on and it was popping, okay? The newbies end up throwing water outside the window at Summer, and Summer immediately is trying to come for the blow. She got her shoe. She's trying to throw it at the sprinter. She's trying to get her immediate revenge, whatever the case may be, saying, wait till you get in the house. Okay? The child, Cole Killer, was not playing with her. One thing I could say about it is all of the newbies' confessional looks, as far as these three, Cole Killer, Lil Nunu, aka Rican, and Fauna, they ate. They understood the assignments. They look the hell good. Okay, this is a batch of newbies that did not need the glow up of a Zeus check in order to come the hell up. And I definitely appreciate that about them. They look good. And I feel like that's where the haterism in Summer came about, because it's like you see these beautiful ass girls and you automatically want to turn up. That's just how I feel about it. Let me know how you feel about it. So they turning up outside the bus. Meanwhile, on the other bus, we got DTB, Ivory, Pretty P, my favorite trio. Hello. And we get some of the other new girls, which are, hold on, let me get their names. The next set of new girls that we get are Elsie, Tavy Baby, and I think it was Choco Brown or Russian Cream. One of them two. One of them two was on this bus. And we had Scotty on that bus as well. So Scotty, of course, is very excited to meet these new girls. Scotty, I still do not like the peacock look on the confessional look. I feel like they should have zoomed out more, because when I saw it on Instagram, it was a hit. When I saw it on TV, it was not. I don't know. It looked way better on the gram. But you know, on the gram, it's the edited version. It's the edited version, baby. So, who knows? Maybe the real deal was just not hitting and she made it look like it was what it was on the gram. Y'all know how that be. Let me know how y'all feel about that look. I don't want to dwell too much on it. But basically, DTB is not really talking on the bus. Scotty even tried to say her name and she purposefully ignored her. And at first it's like, why is DTB giving this energy? But we realized later on, by the time the girls are kind of sort of introducing themselves or whatever, and Tavy Baby speaks up and says, hello, I'm Tavy Baby or whatever. And DTB's like, oh, you the corny mother that was trying to chase my clout on the gram or whatever the case may be. So immediately you see why DTB is quiet, because this girl apparently was trolling her on the internet. And we find out that Tavy Baby is a Chinian. Ciao. Y'all know how that is, because you know DTB and Natalie's energy is not on the same wavelength right now. So instantly, they do not like each other, and DTB and her start like trying to grab at each other in the sprinter. But of course, the security guards are trying to separate as much as they possibly can or whatever the case may be. And that's just what it was. So now Tavy Baby is just like, oh, you mad at me for saying my opinion when everybody was calling you a clout chaser, saying all of this stuff or whatever the case may be. And it was getting messy. It was getting ugly. It was getting dumb. Basically, Tavy Baby was saying that she had all of this time to jump at Natalie. Why did she choose at the reunion to do a basically inserting herself into Natalie and DTV's business, which we expected, because DTB did say that she knew that Natalie was going to try to get some of her Chinians on board when it came to this upcoming season or whatever the case may be. I guess she actually already knew that that's the vibe that it was going to be on. And Tavy Baby's opinion was that DTB was acting up about her, and that if it wasn't for her responding to her in the comments, that she wouldn't have made it on the show in the first place. So basically, the DTB was acting up for no reason. Let me know in the comments how you feel about it, because, child, I don't know what it was that Tavy Baby said on the internet to really get a firm understanding of what they got going on, but it definitely gave Tavy Baby is a fan of Natalie, and DTB is not for the effery. All right. So now we go back to the trio versus trio debacle on the other bus. So you get the trio of last season coming, trying to get on the bus, trying to fight Fauna or whatever the case may be, which I still think is dumb for them to be trying to fight in the first place, because at the end of the day, these new girls did absolutely nothing. And Summer, you're the one that's being disrespectful, saying this girl's name all types of wrong, saying F your name or whatever the case may be. They even tried to put her in her point of view, saying, if I call you, you know, Rella or whatever the case may be, basically Summerella type of thing, you not gonna respect it and you not gonna like it or whatever the case may be. You can't just be calling me any types of whatever. And Summer still was acting like she don't understand. Y'all know Summer is ignorant. So I don't know why anybody is expecting anything from this little girl, but that's neither here nor there. So, of course, Bad Dolly is being a follower at this point in time, just trying to protect her prize, aka Summer. And it's one of those things where it's just like, I don't understand it. I would have preferred it if Dolly would have stuck to her own guns and would have been like, yo, like, Summer, like, don't be disrespectful. It's cool, whatever. I understand her, you know, defending her friend or whatever the case may be, but don't change the fact that you and these new girls were vibing before Summer fucked up the vibe. So all she had to do was be a neutral Lex, if you get what I'm saying. Because you see how Lex was not really a part of anything that they had going on and was kind of sort of just trying her best to de-escalate. I feel like if that was the case, and that should have been the case. Or, you know, by the time they get off the sprint or whatever, Dolly could have just at least pulled someone to the side and been like, look, I fought them off the strength of them coming for you, but it doesn't change the fact that it was a vibe until you started jumping up. Stupid. It's like, it's okay to correct your friends when they are wrong. And I feel like Bad Dolly does not do that, which makes it look like she is up Summer's ass for absolutely no reason. Let me know in the comments if you understand where I am coming from when it comes to that, okay? So Russian Cream on the other bus is basically trying to understand what it is that is going on between DTB and the other girl or whatever the case may be. And they kind of started talking about how the link up the previous day went down and how they had stole from Pretty P or whatever, and Pretty P needs her lick back because her Rolex was in the thing, her Baddies chain was in the purse, like she had a whole bunch of stuff in there, she had cash in there, and these hoes took her stuff. By these hoes, I mean Summer, but at this point in time she didn't know it was Summer. So now they're basically going back and forth with DTB, trying to figure out why she has a problem with Natalie in the first place. And she's saying because Natalie is fake. Natalie keeps saying, popping ish in the confessionals or whatever the case may be, which I don't understand how they don't understand that DTB watched the show in real time just like we did. So she's just now understanding how bad it is that Natalie plays in her face. And people are acting stupid when Natalie is the one that's been popping ish on live and bringing up DTB as much as she possibly can, and basically letting the world know that she don't like her. When DTB, all she's been doing is disturbing these bees, clearly, because from what I see on the internet, she's just been accepting bookings and minding her business. So it's one of those things where, like, y'all are speaking on her, and she's calmly responding. Even Tavy baby, you're over here talking about something. Oh, the rest of the girls didn't say anything. You're the only one that spoke. So you basically don't like DTB because she didn't like your opinion, and she responded to it. That's dumb. You can't really be mad, and you can't judge a person's actions based on what they did. Like, it just because she jumped stupid. Like, child, just because the rest of them don't want to go back and forth with your big ass doesn't mean that DTB has to not go back and forth with your ass on the internet. If you speak on me on the internet, I can choose to either ignore you or I can choose to get on that ass. And DTB chose violence. You can't be mad at her talking about, wow, other people said nothing. You the only one that said something. Okay. So now we're going on to the trio versus trio bus or whatever the case may be. Some are acting weird, still trying to jump on these girls or whatever the case may be. Bad Dolly still trying to get to them. Some are being dirty per usual, puffing on somebody else's hookah pen or whatever it is that thing is called, vape. And they calling her dirty because it's not hers. I mean, we already know Summer be taking wigs. Summer be taking watches. Summer be taking baddie chains. That's just what it is. So Lex is basically trying to calm them down, telling them at the end of the day, let's just get off the sprinter. We got another day. Like, this don't have to be the time. Ain't no space on this sprinter, or whatever the case may be. It is what it is. So now by this point in time, baby Nunu is going off. She got her little pink outfit on and is trying her best to kind of sort of just like maintain composure, because she wants to see Bad Dolly. I don't know if y'all saw, but listen, she was swimming in the middle of that fight, trying to separate it and trying to get towards Bad Dolly, whatever the case may be. And it looked like Bad Dolly got the best of her in the sprinter, or whatever the case may be. So then from there, it was just one of those things where it was just like, child, she mad, and you already know by the time they get into the house, it's going to be something. So we get into the other sprinter. Of course, we got Tavy Baby versus DTB, and they are going off. Ivory was hilarious during this scene, because she's just sitting there like, going for DTB, clearly here for Team DTB, and I love them as friends. I feel like they weren't close enough during the last season for me. And I love that they were able to like build their bond a little deeper this season. And I love that Pretty P is a part of their circumstance as well, because Ivory and Pretty P been friends, and that's just what it is. So now, of course, they're going back and forth, DTB versus Tavy, and DTB is basically saying, like, at the end of the day, I don't even know you like that. You're a fan. And she literally pulls out her fan. Where them fans at? During the confessional, and I was 100% here for it, okay? And that's just what it was. So now they're calming down, because ain't no point in, you know, going back and forth on this sprinter or whatever the case may be. So DTB said, I need that and I want that later. And she was just like, all right, you want that? I'll see you later then. And that kind of sort of calms down the situation. Child, we gonna see how far they go as far as their beef continues inside the house, or whatever the case may be. Because at the end of the day, Tavy, you don't know DTB. And you're basically she's acting like how the newbies were acting at the beginning of last season. Jumping in situations that ain't got nothing to do with you. And you really are a Chinian. So it's not like DTB was wrong to feel some type of way about you from jump. Like, you got it popping off the rip, off the strength of how you feel about what I chose to do to defend myself to Natalie. Well, did Natalie say anything nice about DTB all last season? No. Did Natalie try her when it came to her chain during Caribbean? Absolutely. So did DTB say anything wrong? Not necessarily. Is DTB acting an ass in terms of the situation? I don't think so. Because at the end of the day, if somebody wronged me, I have every right to be able to stand up for my rights on the situation. You over here acting like there has to be a time and place for me to be able to speak out on it. And it's like, if I dissect and digest certain circumstances and I feel some type of way now and I want to move accordingly now, I can do that because it's my business. The same way you can have an opinion is the same way that I can speak on your opinion whenever I want to, because regardless, your opinion is towards me and my business. So it's like Tavy is acting like she doesn't have the right to feel some type of way when you're basing your opinion on me. Like, am I not supposed to speak on it? Like, it made no sense. So either or, the first sprinter ends up coming into the house with the 3B versus the 3B sprinter or whatever. So immediately the trio starts to dance. They turn to whatever the case may be. And immediately Summer and Fauna see each other. They lock eyes and they immediately get into it. And when I tell you, I was rooting for Fauna so hard. And it was one of those things where it was just like, damn it, Fauna. Damn it, Fauna. Like, I wanted her to win. I wanted her to win so badly. But I don't know if Summer, I don't know who's been giving Summer lessons, but Summer definitely did her biggest one. Summer definitely did her biggest one. Let me know in the comments who y'all think Summer's taking lessons from. Tasiki, have you been paying, Summer, have you been paying Tasiki on the back end to teach you how to fight? Because she's learning defense, she's learning offense, she's moving left to right, she's shucking and jiving and moving and sticking and rolling, and it's like, wait a minute, this is not the same Summer that we seen last season. Summer was swimming all last season. Okay? It's hard to tell whether or not Fauna cannot fight or whether or not Summer legit is doing better this season than she did last season. Like, it's kind of hard to tell at this point in time. But let me know in the comments how y'all felt about the situation. So, of course, by this point in time, Natalie is confused and is asking what the issue is. So then by then, Fauna basically says, that they are tripping. Like, y'all over here saying that they're the original trio. They over here getting names wrong, whatever the case may be. Fauna's like, my name is Fauna. You're not finna disrespect my name. And how Summer was basically like, ain't nobody gonna respect your name. So she said, bitch, I need that. So now Natalie is basically saying, I didn't know that y'all had a problem with each other, whatever the case may be. And they're saying, look, there wasn't no problem until Summer made it one. Okay? So now Summer is basically saying, well, her side of the situation, which is, I just asked them straight up, do y'all like me or nah, or whatever the case may be, which she did. But at the end of the day, child, this is where we are. And then they end up asking Lex, Natalie ends up asking Lex how she feels about the situation. She was just like, look, listen, at the end of the day, I'm here with my girls. I'm fighting by their side, or whatever the case may be. Child, she ain't got a brain for herself. So now, of course, they going back and forth verbally, whatever. And Natalie, like always, is saying what she got to say. And what is it that Natalie said? We all got to stay in the house together. So if y'all got to get it out on the paint, do it now. So immediately, bow, 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 bow. We got, was it Fauna versus Summer, if I'm not mistaken? They immediately start going at it. And in this round, I definitely want to say Fauna got Summer, because she definitely left her bloody. And I was 100% here for it. I was 100% here for it. Because Summer, you are disrespectful. Summer, you tried this girl's name. And it was definitely well needed. Then by this time, we got K-Rican versus Bad Dolly, or whatever the case may be. And now Fauna is, getting attacked. Or whatever the case may be. And of course, Summer is jumping in because Summer don't believe in solo fights, or whatever the case may be. And that's just what it is. And one thing about it, and two things for certain, I'm loving these newbies. I just wish that they were fighting better. Because there's really no real reason for Summer to be winning, or at least having some sort of upper hand in any of these battles. Like, I hated seeing Summer winning. I hated it. Child. So then from here, Natalie is basically saying that she's tired of people saying that she's not here for people. So she's doing her best to kind of sort of, separate fights, or whatever the case may be. The African dancers start dancing. So you see Dolly and the other trio trying to just, dance it off. They ain't got no wigs on. Well, Lex is the only one that got her wig on. Okay? Because she peacemaker for this episode. Well, at least this part of the episode. Child. So it was up and stuck from that point, and we still didn't even get the other girls into the house. So we got a whole different situation that is about to take place. Okay, child, let me know in the comments how you feel about these new girls thus far. At least this set of new girls that have come into the house, or whatever the case may be, because now we got another bus of girls that are going to come in. So we got the Scotty, DTD, and Ivory bus with Pretty P that are approaching the house, and they are coming towards the back area as well, where the rest of the ladies are. And DTB, her head is on a swivel at this point in time, because of course this new girl wants to fight her. Of course, Natalie's in the house. She don't know if it's going to be up and stuck since the reunion. I think it's her first time seeing her since the reunion, or whatever the case may be. So she does not know what to expect, or whatever. So now they're coming out They hear the music, they see the dancers, everyone's loving on each other, whatever the case may be. DTB comes out slow motion. She said she don't know who she's walking into, or whatever the case may be. Too many Chinians after her. So she said she's going to keep her head on the swivel, and she's just going to pay attention and see what happens. So, child, that's just what it's going to be. So then from this point in time, Natalie ends up approaching Paula, Pretty P, and was just like, I heard somebody took your chain. I heard somebody took your watch. What's going on? And she was like, yeah, Summer and Bad Dolly took my bag, which had my watch in, or whatever the case may be. So then by this point in time, Natalie goes to Summer and was just like, where's the watch? Where's the watch? You ain't got no problem with Pretty P. Why do you have her watch, or whatever the case may be? So Natalie's like, I don't know what's going on. Like, give her back her watch. It's not that funny. Bad Dolly was just like, yeah, it is funny. It is funny. And it's one of those things where it's just like, you're only saying that because you don't like Pretty P, because Pretty P was bopping you across the head all last season, or whatever the case may be. But it is what it is. So then from there, Summer does the weirdest thing I have ever seen in my life and takes a Rolex and throws it in a pond of water. That is the most hateful, trolly, disrespectful thing that I've ever seen in my life. Okay? So now, from there, it's up and stuck between her and Pretty P because, child. So now, they immediately start fighting, or whatever the case may be. And then by then, child, I don't know. She talking about some F Milwaukee, Detroit in this B, whatever the case may be. Pretty P is ready to fight her again. They fight straight into the African dancers, okay? And Pretty P is not playing with her. Pretty P says she gonna make sure you bloody, okay? Pretty P said that it is up and stuck, okay? Pretty P made sure that she left that thing bloody, okay? Had her leaking out the mouth. I'm not gonna hold you. Ivory was cracking the hell up because, you know, she loved her some Pretty P. She loved her some Paula. And the child, Summer, was definitely leaking out the mouth. Let me know in the comments how you felt about their little squabble, because I'm always going to be Team Paula. No matter who Pretty P fights, Pretty P is like unprovoked and unproblematic. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. So then by that point in time, Natalie is instantly like, oh, you know, let's calm down. Let's calm down. Pretty P, I got you. Sorry about your watch. I'm going to get you a new one. Dolly being a hater in her confessionals, talking about something. Here go Natalie being super saver bitch. Girl, this girl did nothing to you since the second that y'all met. You've been giving Paula problems. All she's been doing is standing up for her rights. Stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. So then from there, DTV inserts the situation, and Natalie instantly calls her out. She talking about how she owes her respect, or whatever the case may be. DTV saying, you always popping ish about me in the confessionals. So now let's run it up, child. And that's just what it is. And Natalie's like, oh, you already apologized to me. We shouldn't be beefing now. She was like, I apologize to everybody. I'm an apologizing that bit. Child. Which she does. She does apologize to everybody. And I hate that about DTV. But she's a Gemini. One day she could sleep on it and she loves everybody. And the next day she hates you again. By the time she sees, you know, the bigger picture of everything. She might wake up and realize that that's not the case. So then from there, Natalie really is not trying to fight her. It's crazy because Natalie's words coming out of her mouth is, I ain't ducking no smoke. Or in the midst of her ducking smoke. And it was exactly what DTV said. If DTV did not bop her upside the head at the reunion, she never would have squared up with Natalie. Let's just keep it a book. So now, of course, the Chinian wants to fight DTV. So, what's her name? Tavy Baby is just like, she ain't gonna fight her. I'll fight her for her. You owe me a fade anyway. So, they instantly start fighting. After their round one, Lex comes out of nowhere and starts boop, boop, bop, popping. Not Natalie. What you call it? Scotty upside her head. Child. Let me know in the comments how you felt about this episode. It honestly had so much going on. Freaking Scotty getting attacked from the back by Lex. Let me know in the comments how you felt about that. I have mixed feelings on it because on one case, I can't be a hypocrite and say DTV is hitting her because is catching her off guard when it comes to Natalie. because she knows she won't get that fade with her, and not say the same to Lex? Because it's true. If she did not, sneak Scotty, she never would have caught a fair one with Scotty. But my problem is, at the end of the day, Scotty owes you absolutely nothing. You want to fight Scotty for what reason exactly? Scotty never said she had a problem with you. Scotty has complimented you and said that you're pretty. You have made a problem with Scotty just off the basis of her jumping in a circumstance when it came to Summer, which doesn't make any sense either, because you're a hypocrite when it comes to that, because you keep jumping into Summer circumstances. So the same way that she was getting into Ahna's situation is the same way that you and Bad Dolly keep getting into Summer situations. So the same reason that you dislike Scotty is the same reason why me, Miss Pretty Young Thing, is starting to dislike you, because you're being a big hypocrite. All last season, the newbies kept talking about how the OGs were being hypocrites. They were jumping in. They were doing this. They were doing that. And now this season, they're doing exactly what they were mad at the OGs for. And that makes absolutely no sense to me. It's like, is it all bets off now? Do y'all not give a dang anymore? Is it that up and stuck? Because you don't have any beefs with this girl. The only person that you fought this past season was Ivory, okay? And now all of a sudden you have a problem with Scotty because Scotty was helping Ahna defend herself because Summer bopped her against her face when Ahna wasn't even trying to fight like that. It was like, I don't understand. Summer got what was coming to her because Summer is disrespectful. So at this point in time, you're not even defending Summer anymore. You're basically having a problem with Scotty because you feel like Scotty, basically, I don't know, you're just fighting her because you want to at this point in time. I feel like Anna's not here. The same reasons that you was feeling like Ahna was, jumping in situation. I don't know. Please, somebody in the comments, let me know why you think Lex has a problem with Scotty. Now, I know a lot of y'all are looking at Scotty like, oh, you're on these seasons and you're getting away scot-free with so many different things or whatever the case may be. I get that, but in this circumstance, I can't agree with it. Because it's like, this is an unprovoked attack over a situation that they don't really have beef over. Like, Scotty has no problem with you. Even if Scotty saw her running towards her, she still probably would have been hesitant as far as what the hell is this girl charging at me for? Because they don't have no real reason to beef. Lex is literally beefing with her. Oh, well, now they got a reason to fight because you sneaking this girl for no dang reason. But it's one of those things where it's just like, I don't understand. Do you wanna sleep with Lemmy? Like, what is it that you really have against this girl? Never in all my days have I seen somebody so pressed to fight somebody before. Like, what? So you done trying to fight Ivory? Now you coming for Scotty? You have a new target this season? New storyline? I really want to see how this escalates if that's the case, because I really want to see if Lex has a real reason to try to fight Scotty. Please let me know in the comments how you feel about it. And I think my face is complete. Okay. Let me know how you feel about this face. Okay. I'm here for it. The eyebrows are eyebrowsing. The hair is hairing. And we are where we need to be. Okay? Let me know in the comments how you feel about the episode. Let me know in the comments how you feel about DTB versus Natalie as far as the battle of the bosses, the boss bees. Let me know how you feel about the newbie trio. Let me know how you feel about the Summer trio. That's what just what I'm going to call them, because that's the ringleader. Let me know how you feel about the OG trio, the new trio, as in DTB, Ivory, and Pretty P. Let me know how you feel about Summer throwing in the watch. Do you think it's as funny as Dad Dolly thinks it was? Or do you think that she is doing broke bitch tactics or whatever the case may be? Let me know how you feel about this new girl, Tavy Baby's reasoning behind fighting DTB. Does she have a reason to stand up for Natalie? Or do you think that she's literally being a weird Chinyan? Let me know in the comments how you felt about the episode on a scale of 1 to 10. On the scale of 1 to 10, I definitely can give the episode a 10. I love the newbies. I wish they knew how to fight. They weren't fighting that well. But I do love how pretty they are. I'm loving their confessional look. I'm loving this new. I love her. She's so pretty. She's so bomb. I know I said before that I don't know if I'm gonna like Rolly this season because she lacks storyline, and I stick by that. But it's interesting to see Rolly trying to be this motherly Mother Teresa type figure where she's just trying to break up fights and say cute and be pretty. I just wish we would have seen it sooner because it's too big of a 360 from what we saw last season. Like, what's changed? At least give us that as a storyline. I'm becoming a new person because XYZ. But if you're becoming a new person just because, and you're not telling us why, I'm not feeling it. I'm not believing it. And I feel like she's gonna relapse later on this season, just like she relapsed on her ex on the internet. But that's a story for another time. But let me know in the comments how you felt about the episode. Let me know how you feel about this beat. I appreciate y'all. Please do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, turn those post notifications on, and tell a friend to tell a friend that PYT is here. And thank you so much for watching PYT TV. Mwah. Respectfully.
Oh, take it there.